What's up, sinners? This your boy YoungSin here, back to bring you some more sinful entertainment. And today I'm watching Media Mementos. He's made a video, or they made a video, I'm not quite sure, on the Proud family and how, just stick with me you guys, Dijonay is the worst fucking friend Penny could ever had. And it's true. It's true. It's true. Now a lot of y'all gonna say La Cienega, but let's keep it a buck. She not really her friend. They got this frenemy situation where I'd rather keep you in my circle as a friend than my enemy. Even though Penny is definitely more acts super friendly towards La Cienega, and La Cienega is the one really giving hate. But yeah, Penny got some fake friends outside of Zoe, but Zoe is like a follower. So I would call it fake. I just would call it easily swayed because she still be having Penny's back in situations in comparison to her friends. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, keep it above you. Penny is the realest friend in the friend group outside of maybe Michael. And he's still new to the friend group. He's still new to the friend group. But Dijonay is the worst friend Penny ever had because unlike La Cienega, that's her actual BS friend. Like, think about it. I mean, honestly, think about it, though. If we got to keep it a buck. Like, how you say that's your best friend, but you switch up on her on numerous occasions. Just for no reason. Like, Dijonay got no loyalty. Whether it's for a man, a girl, school, money, life, anything, Dijonay gonna switch up on Penny. Because Dijonay got no loyalty.
Sure, you're already aware that there's a lot of great Disney Channel shows like Dave the Barbarian, Gravity Falls, Dave the Barbarian, Dave the Barbarian, watch it, please. But of course, one of the most popular Disney Channel shows of all time,
it wasn't
for
that
good reason, was The Proud Family, which is
Proud
actually
Family was
come
good.
back in a reboot, and it's not bad, anyways, The Proud...
Keep it above with you. The new Proud Family is really good. The first season is fantastic. The second season, I would say, the worst part about it is that they're relying. They're starting to. I'm not saying relying. They're starting to get into more of the political aspects, and it's not working out for them. I would say, because they definitely have a scene where it's a debate episode, and then they start talking about slavery, but it comes out of left field, so you just watch and go, what the fuck? I think if they followed the track of the first season, which was basically, I won't say its own story, but kind of like giving us new stories while also exploring the characters we know to love and giving episodes based off them and just expanding everything is something that would probably benefit in the long run because the Proud Family is already established. All you really have to do now is just give us more time with these characters, getting into certain situations that we would expect of an older Penny. Maybe like trying to get into college. They did the whole boyfriend situation, probably maintaining that relationship. Maybe balancing work and school. Maybe she gets a job. Stuff like that. Giving us more of like, because we got Penny in high school already. Giving us Penny as she's starting to explore the real world. Like, not in college. Not even, like, you don't even got to set up for her going to college no time soon. But, I mean, like, just starting to slowly getting out into the real world outside of school was probably the best route to go to it. But the way they're doing it is they're giving more political aspects. Like, they tried to do colorism, and that shit was horrible. I don't think the episode itself was bad. I just think what made it worse was the route they choose to go about it. And I'm spoiling it. I don't give a fuck. But basically, in the colorism episode, they was just like, they painted the kid out to be a bad... I'm not going to spoil all of it, but just the synopsis. But they painted the kid, because it's basically Zoe and the boy that likes Zoe. And they're trying to say he's showing colorism because he prefers Zoe over the girls, but shows that the girls are the ones hating. But the issue with that was, like, for me, because they made it out like the boy was the issue, when in reality it really wasn't him. At least not until they told you and not showed you. But for me, it wasn't an issue because it's like y'all hating that he likes white girls, and he might just have a preference, you know, because in reality, like during the episode, not rad, but during the episode, we barely got time with the kid to begin with, but like he never expressed that it was just white girls he was into, and then he never expressed that he didn't like black girls, if that makes sense, you know. It was all of them just telling you this, that, and the other about the boy, and not showing us what makes him so bad for expressing colorism. But it was just weird, because it was like, all he did was show interest in Zoe, and then it just seemed like they was back on their fake friends again, in comparison to maybe like him showing interest in the Zoe, and then them seeing that he disrespects black women while uplifting white women, but in a way that diminishes black women still on top of disrespect. Like that would have made more sense for the colorism episode, because they could have still been hating for they still could have been hating, because then like Zoe's being blind, you know, dudes paying her attention, whatever the case might be, and then trying to get it so it's not just them hating, but like, yo Zoe, we trying to tell you this information and you just ignoring us because you in it for dick, like, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that.
Our family kinda dipped into semi-obscurity for a little while, more often than not being reduced to, hey, remember this status. But now people have rediscovered the show and new audiences are finding it, and guess what? It's still really good. Almost every aspect of the show holds up. There's only one that doesn't, and it's not really an aspect, so to speak. It's a character. And it's a character that's
That was the shit though. Judah!
Hated by almost every fan of the Proud Family, and this is none other than
Dijonay
Jones.
Welcome
shit. To the premiere episode of Anti-Character Quest.
Oh,
For those of you who don't know, regular Character Quest is a show on Media Mementos where either I or the editor Billy take a look at characters we find to either be underappreciated or underexplored.
Like
but
who?
this time, we're flipping it upside down.
Okay.
We're taking a look at characters we just can't stand.
Word.
And who better to be the first subject of an anti-character quest
The
video
Dijonay.
than Dijonay
For
Jones.
real.
Give her a round of applause, everybody.
Boo, you stink!
For real.
So what exactly makes Dijonay so bad?
Fiending self.
Well, first,
She
let me
be
explain
fiending.
who exactly she is and what role she has. She's Penny Proud's best friend. The best friend character can kind of be hit and miss, especially in a Disney Channel show. They can either be the wacky, silly sidekick, or the downer stick in the mud who's always there to say, I told you so. Dijonay is none of these, and on paper that sounds good, but in practice, it's a disaster. Dijonay is the worst kind of friend imaginable. She always says she's got Penny's back. She always says that the two of them are basically sisters. They're inseparable. Obviously, they're just two peas in a pod.
And it separates from her every chance she gets.
Whenever the timing is right, Dijonay will willingly and happily stick a metaphorical knife in Penny's back. And then when it doesn't go according to plan, oh, it was okay. That's just what friends do. It wasn't anything personal. She just got caught up in the heat of the moment. Nope. So let me give you some examples of what exactly she does. In the party, Penny finds out that La Cienega, the rich, snobby neighbor girl, is throwing a party the same day that she's throwing a party of her own.
Right.
She expects Dijonay to come to her party because, well, why wouldn't she? They're best friends. But no, Dijonay ditches Penny and goes to La Cienega's party, even though she doesn't like La Cienega.
At all.
But still, she goes because apparently Jennifer Lopez is gonna be there. And then she comes back to Penny's party at the end because, uh-oh, Jennifer Lopez didn't come. No, I'm sorry, Penny, no, friends shouldn't act like this, nothing like that. It's only, yeah, that party wasn't really great. Hey, what's going on here? She ditches her best friend just because it makes her feel happier and it's more convenient.
Word.
This also happens in Forbidden Date too, by the way. Then there's Adventures in Babysitting, which personally is one of my lesser favorite episodes of the Proud Family. This episode is about Penny and her friends wanting to go to a boy band concert, but then her parents say, hey,
Nope.
you can't go, you gotta watch the twins.
Right.
Again. And Dijonay's parents say the same thing about her many, many condiment-named siblings. Penny and Dijonay, being as good of friends as they are, decide to pool their babysitting duties together into one house.
And she
Except
just sticks
Dijonay
up with
doesn't
it.
do anything, and she blows Penny off, having her do all the work while she sits back and relaxes. This causes a whole bunch of bad chain reaction stuff to happen, and Dijonay won't take any responsibility for it because she's just being herself. She's looking out for number one.
Right.
But oh no, she really does care about Penny, guys. In the episode Poetic Justice, she gives this heartfelt poem about just how much Penny's friendship means to her. I don't buy it for a second.
Not at all.
Actions
Word.
speak louder than words, and Dijonay's actions are terrible. But it's not just Penny that gets this treatment. Her other victim, no, I guess victims, right?
No, he's
is
a victim.
Sticky Webb, a boy she has an uncomfortable...
Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. All right, guys, let me back. Sorry about that. Let's go.
Words, and Dijonay's actions are terrible. But it's not just Penny that gets this treatment. Her other victim,
Sticky? No, he's a victim.
No, I guess victims, right? Is Sticky Webb, a boy she has an uncomfortable, unhealthy, obsessive crush on. Sticky has zero interest in Dijonay and is not shy about saying so. Nevertheless, Dijonay keeps trying to win him over. On the surface, it kinda seems like a standard Sonic and Amy kind of thing where the girl really wants the guy and the guy wants nothing to do with her, but that's not really what this is. Dijonay has to have Sticky's loyalty and love, otherwise she just shuts down. Case in point, the episode Surf and Turf where Sticky rejects her on a live TV show. But she doesn't give Sticky this loyalty. She acts really flippantly, just as much as she does with Penny. She not only keeps throwing herself at other guys despite the fact that she says she'd never cheat on Sticky, but also eagerly leaves Sticky in the dust on Wizard Kelly's orders in A Star is Scorn. Once again, this girl has no loyalty. You know who she reminds me of? Peter Pettigrew, aka Wormtail. See, Pettigrew spent...
This is Wix.
Yeah, that comparison is crazy though. I'm waiting.
His entire life at Hogwarts being best friends with James Potter, Sirius Black, and Remus Lupin.
Yeah.
He was part of the inseparable friend group called the Marauders. However, when Voldemort was rising to power, he ended up selling out James Potter, causing him and his wife Lily to get killed just because
he's the one that sold him out.
Because he wanted security. He didn't care that he was betraying the trust of a longtime friend. He had to do whatever he could in order to save his own neck and make himself happy. Dijonay's not only the exact same way, but I kinda think she's worse. Whereas Pettigrew's acknowledged in-universe to be a bad guy, the show seems to think that Dijonay's one of the good guys. She never really does anything good unless the entire group is doing it. She's the first one to sell her friends out or suggest that they do something wrong, but still she keeps getting rewarded. She rarely, if ever, gets what's coming to her. And even when she does, it doesn't stick. Because the next week she'll turn right around and do the same thing over and over again. She never has any growth. She never has any development. She's the same way throughout the entire show, beginning to end. Which means that she's only there to cause problems. She's not so much of a character as she is a plot device. Kind of like Baby Pooh from The Fairly Odd Parents. You know what makes this really annoying too? The Proud Family has, well, prided itself on its well-developed characters. At first glance, you might see the characters as a pretty stereotypical lineup. We got the silly, weird dad, the out-there hip grandma, the growing teenage girl, the sassy, mean, possibly rich girl, all that sort of stuff. But everyone has their own development and growth. They change as time goes on. And even if they start out as stereotypical, they get interesting over time. Like La Cienega, for instance. She started off as your typical bratty mean girl stereotype and then developed to have some more layers. We saw her be self-conscious, we saw her think about others instead of herself. By the time the show ended, she wasn't really so much of Penny's enemy or rival anymore, she was more of her frenemy, I guess, which is definitely an improvement. There's also Sugar Mama, who started off as
hands down the best fucking character. Hands down the best character in the Proud Family. Sugar Mama is goated. Her and then I think his name is Peebo. Yo, her and Peebo are amazing. They should get an episode together. That would be amazing. Because Peebo is the funniest cat. Hey, Mr. Proud. What Penny doing? Hey, girl, how you doing? He be trying, yo. Yo, he really be trying to get with Penny. And he don't care who they Don't worry, Penny. In a couple years, I'll get rich. I'll take care of you. I'm like, okay, Peebo, spit game.
It's a funny, yet kind of one-dimensional side character with a lot of sarcastic quips. But then we learned more about her history and her loneliness and her relationship with her sons. Although it is worth noting that this development happened pretty quickly, but still the point stands. Is it really that bad that Dijonay never had a moment like this?
Yes.
Yes, it really is. She has no redeeming qualities. And she's part of the main cast that we're supposed to root for, which means that we just get frustrated every time she's on screen. And I do mean we, not I. I'm not alone in this.
No,
the
everybody.
Proud Family fandom hates Dijonay. You'll find
annoying.
a couple people siding with her, but for the most part, people agree that she's easily the worst character in the
She's
show.
fake as
and
hell.
she really didn't have to be either. And I'm not just talking about her growing as a person. There's another angle that I think could have worked. If they were really this dedicated to having Dijonay be the character,
Make her an enemy. Like, you know how how La Cienega was supposed to be like Penny's enemy. You just flip it. So now you could make it so they switch spots. So Dijonay is supposed to be the self-sabotaging frenemy, right? And then La Cienega is supposed to be her rival, always out to get her, you know, frenemy or enemy, her enemy, right? You know, if that's the case, then flip the script and have them take the role, so that even if they started off in those roles, they flipped, so that it shows both a positive growth and a negative growth over time. You know, that way we get La Cienega, for example, who is a sort of an enemy to Penny, who's always out to get her, you know, ruin her life, you know, prove she's better than her. And then, like he said at the end of the episode, they became frenemies, right? You can make it so that she takes over that role. So anyway, she takes over that role of best friend frenemy, so that they still have those moments where they're tight, they're cool, but it's more when La Cienega gets the chance, you know, I won't say she'll throw Penny on the bus, but she won't be as quick to put Penny's needs before her own, or put their friendship above most things, because she's still getting accustomed to the whole best friend frenemy situation. You know, that would make sense. That we would understand why La Cienega is doing that, because even though she's not Penny's enemy no more, she's still getting adjusted to being her best friend and her frenemy, in a sense. And with Dijonay, you could turn her into that enemy by making her like she is now, and then over time taking over that position of just being a bitter bitch. You know, like dead, because she does stuff that just proves her and Penny should go against each other, and just be like, even they want to go that route where like Penny's actively trying to keep her as her friend, and then Dijonay is showing her true colors. That way it makes sense why Dijonay is doing all the things she's doing, because they make it in the show very clear as day that they're best friends and they would do anything for each other, but show the complete opposite. It would make sense that it's Penny. The only reason why Dijonay is always in the friend group is because Penny is always trying to show Dijonay that she's gonna be there for her, and Dijonay is just always taking advantage. And it would be so relatable, because we all got people like that. We want to look out for you, and you always shitting on us, but it's something in our psyche that's always gonna make us come back to you, because we care for your friendship, or because we knew you growing up, or just because we just love you. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That would make sense.
who causes all the problems for the main cast, then maybe instead of being Penny's best friend, she could have been someone that Penny only let hang out with the group because she pitied her. Let's face it, who would want a friend like Dijonay? Not even the Gross sisters would want her to be part of their group. And Penny's a kind-hearted person. She'd see that someone's lonely and want to give him a shot. But then Dijonay would kept blowing those shots again and again and again. It really is her role in the show that makes her that bad. As an antagonist, she would have been really good. But no, that's not what we got. Instead, she's one of the main characters and one who gets a lot of focus. I may not be super big on Louder and Prouder, but I will most certainly give them a big round of applause if they manage to make Dijonay either redeemable or likable in at least one way. It sounds like an impossible feat, but who knows? It could happen. But I'm not going to hold my breath. Because as it stands, Dijonay is definitely the worst friend ever. Well, folks, thanks for watching the video. What'd you guys think?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Because you just you explained yourself articulately on why we hate this girl with a passion. The whole Proud family. I don't care. He said a couple people agree with her. I don't believe it. I think we all have. You know what I'm saying? Because she's just bitter. You know. And it sucks that they got rid of Sticky, because I feel like personally they should have just replaced Sticky. Sticky was one of those characters you could replace. He wasn't like he's Black Panther. You know, I felt like they should have replaced Black Panther. I'm glad they didn't replace Black Panther. Not yet, anyway. But you know, Sticky, as iconic as he is not that iconic where you can't just replace him. You know what I'm saying? I felt like personally they should have replaced Sticky so that like we can still get those interactions, and maybe just maybe he ends up falling for her after all these years of craziness, because you know persistent as eventually beats resistance. It's the saying, persistence beats resistance. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that would have been cool if Sticky was in the show. But without further ado, I hope you guys like the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you guys next time. Deuces.